Okay, this right here is a proof that proves that you can divide by zero. So this is a proof that shows that you can divide by zero. We'll start off with this. Okay, when you have a number like 1 divided by 5 divided by 1 over 10, for an example, what you would do is you would, to divide 1/5 divided by 1/10, you would basically do this. Take the 1/5 and multiply it times, you take the 10, put on the top, and you take the 1 that was there and you put on the bottom, and you multiply straight across with multiplication. Okay, so that would be 10, and then that would be 5 times 1, which is 5, and that was 10 times 1, which gave you 10, and 5 divided by 10 equals what? 2. That's how you divide, just regular division. But we're going to show you how to divide by zero. That we've been doing it actually forever. We've been dividing by zero for a long time now, and a lot of mathematicians will tell you, no, we can't do it, but we've been doing it for years. For an example, let's do that again. We'll take 1 divided by 5, okay? And let's just, instead of putting 1 over 10, let's do 1 over 0. So basically we're saying that 1/5 is divided by infinity. So what would that be? That would be, how do you fix that? You would do 1/5 times 0 over 1, just like we did up here. And you would multiply across. You get 0 over 5, which gives you 0, right? Same thing. We did the same thing that we did right here. They tell us in mathematics to do this, invert it, flip it around, and do this. It's the same thing. So basically, we said that 1/5 divided by, they call that infinity, because they say 1 divided by 0 is infinity. So if they call that infinity, it's really just taking it and multiplying by 1/5. 0 times that. That's all that is. So I'm going to give you another example, okay? It's the same concept. Let's just say if we said, okay, 5 divided by 1 times 0 over 1. What does that equal? We will say, oh, that's 0, because 5 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 1 is 1. But really, what we just said is that that is 5 divided by 1, or that's really saying 5 divided by 1 divided by 1 over 0. That's what we just said. Or if you just took off the 5 and said 5 times 0. Well, that really is 5 divided by 1 over 0, which is 5 times 0 over 1, which equals 0. We've been dividing all along, all this time. And for an example, I'll give you another example. Another example is sine of x. Sine of x. If you put a 0 there for sine of x, it'll be sine of x, or sine of 0. That's what it'll be, sine of 0. And the sine of 0 equals 0, right? Well, what if we just go ahead and take this and say cosecant equals, cosecant of x equals 1 over the sine of x. Okay? If we put a 0 here, it will cause it to be a 0 here, right? And we know that the 0 of sine equals 0, so it would equal 1 over 0. That would be our answer. But let's try it like this so we can see it clearly. Let's say 1 divided by sine, 1 divided by 1 divided by sine of x. And we put the 0 here. What would we do? We'll take the 1 and we would invert it like we did the last time, flip it around, and that'd be sine of x over 1. And we multiply, and that would be sine of x. So if we put a 0 here, sine of 0, that's 1 divided by 0. We take it, flip it around, we get 1 times sine of 0, which we know is sine of 0 is 0. So 1 times sine of 0 equals 0. So we just divided by 0 there before. That's in plain simple terms. And I'm going to give you one more example to show that you can divide by 0. This is the last proof that shows you can divide by 0. Alright, the last one is this. If you take x plus x, that we know that equals 2x, right? But how do we get from here to here? Well, how we get from this to this is we do something called, I guess you can say, factoring or whatever. But we'll factor out the x. That means to factor out the x, you take x plus x and you divide it by x, okay? And then, after you divide it by x, you multiply by the outside so that you can remain, so that it can be the same. It'll keep this answer the same. So what we're doing is just dividing by x over x. And when you do that, you get x, okay? And then you divide each one of these, which is basically this, x divided by x plus x divided by x, which gives you what? X 1 plus 1. So that's 1 plus 1 is 2, and it gives you 2x. That's how we get from here to here. But wait a minute, guys. They tell you that this is a number that can go from anywhere. It can go from 0 all the way to infinity. But we just divided by, if that's the case, if this number, if you can stick a 0 here and get 0, stick a 1 in here and get 2. If you stick a 2 in here, that'd be 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Because 0 in here, 0 plus 0 is 0. But we just divided by x. So that means that we could divide by 0 also. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? I'm saying that x divided by x, when you do this, equals 1 plus 1. But they tell us that x can be any number. X can be from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to all the way to infinity. Well, if it can be any number, then when we divided this, that means x could have been 0. So that means 0 divided by 0 equals 1. 0 divided by 0 equals 1. So that's 2x. Do you get what I'm saying? So there is a simple proof that you can divide by 0. But it gets more complicated, and I'll show you and prove that to you in my next video, okay, of division by 0. But this is just a simple proof of division by 0. My next video is going to explain a little bit more details on how 0 works and how it can be used in mathematics to calculate formulas and to use it as operations in your mathematics. So just check that out, and I'll get your next video out as soon as possible.